Hello. Hi-ho, this is Kelly for Your Other Closet. We are doing another information video. We are going to talk today about the 20-piece appointment intake. This is intake. This is the beginning of the process for when someone has an appointment. I have written up my notes. They will be attached to a email to you. If you do not get that email, it will be in a notebook up at the front desk. So, 20-piece appointments is the biggest way we collect fashion items. And every consignor may have one 20-piece appointment per quarter. And they obtain that by participating in the lottery. And that's a whole other story. But when they come in, their appointment is available on the day that they have reserved, anywhere between 10 a.m. and 4:45. We don't like it when they show up right as we lock the door, because it takes some time to check them in. If you are checking in somebody, so you're at the front desk, someone comes in, says, hey, you have an appointment. We check the calendar to see if we can make sure they're on the right day or close to it. Sometimes they've been sick and they've rescheduled. They are allowed to come in a couple of days before or a couple of days after. We appreciate it when they let us know, but they don't necessarily have to. If you're checking them in, you're going to use one of these forms. They're up at the front desk. It's a half-page form. It's typically on cardstock, so it's a little bit more rigid. You should be able to see these. This is the latest and greatest version. This is September 2023, and we've updated a little bit. So there are parts that you have to take care of, parts that the consignor has to initial, and then we continue with the form as we track it through the whole process. So it gets checked in, we take it to the back, someone processes it, we photograph it, tag it, and we get it out on the floor. So if you're at the desk, you take one of these forms, and you are going to put the date on it, the date that they are dropping it off, not necessarily the date that they have reserved. Please put their entire name, first name and last name. If you let them sign it, please make sure you can read it, because if you leave and I don't know who this person is, it will be next to impossible to figure it out. And then I would like your initials or your first name listed, and that is because, again, if you took it in and there's questions, I need to ask you. Okay, there are 4 questions on this one now. 4. You are going to walk the consignor through it, so together you guys can read it. 2 pieces of information you have to provide. The first one says, if not consigned, do you want it returned or donated? And that's because, let's say we found something that had a spot or missing button or something, we're trying to decide what to do with it, because we're not going to consign it. If they say donate, check off the box that says donate. Don't just let them tell you and you forget to do that. If they say return, same thing, check off that box. Then the consignor initials it. The next one is where you put a piece of information in. It says, items not consigned need to be retrieved within 2 weeks before. So pick 2 weeks and 1 day from the day that you're there. Today is September, let's say 1st. So 2 weeks would be September 14th. Pick an extra day, the 15th. And we add 1 extra day because it sometimes takes about 24 to 48 hours to process items, okay? So you put there the date, that is 2 weeks and a day. And then you have the consignor initial it. The next item says, items at timeout are donated unless they're over $30. Is it okay to return? This is a flip from the former question we used to ask. So they have to actually say, are you okay? We're going to donate it because it's under 30 bucks. We're talking about like t-shirts or pants, something like that. If they say it's okay to donate, check yes. If they say it is not okay to donate, check no. Then they initial. The 4th question requires you to put some information. It says if you are requesting that items get returned, they have to be picked up before, and you put the month, the end of blah. And we will always have that little flyer up front that says we are doing green tags, and green tags get discounted in this fashion, and these are the dates for when they time out. Okay, so let's say if it was now, it would be the end of January 2024. Then you have the consignor initial it. Okay, the thing would be is they are responsible for picking it up. Okay, and they are responsible for letting me know. So in January, at the end of January, they should call or email me and say, hey, can you pull the stuff that hasn't been sold yet? Okay? They have to participate. So let them know that. Then this portion is where you are going to make notes. This is a drop and go appointment. This is not a let's talk about every piece. This is not you going through every single piece. It is you just swapping hangers, hanging stuff up, doing a general count. If they wanted to, they should have made a list before they got there, or they could take a quick photo of what you're taking, okay? If you are pulling it over the counter and you're hanging it up and oops, you found a huge stain and you just aren't taking something, just hand it back. But we are dropping and going. We are not hanging out at the front counter. Someday we will have a check-in counter, but we don't yet. So your job is just to do a very generic, quick, hey, you brought me a bikini. I can't take the bikini. Here you go. Or you have a coat right now and we're not taking coats. Here you go. Okay? Then you're going to swap hangers, hang it up, whatever. In the notes, you do a count of all the items they dropped off that you are keeping. Okay? You're keeping 19. Okay? You don't have to go farther than that because this is for processing. This is not for you. If while you're counting you decided, oh, I was taking 19, but I found a problem, or the person called and said, hey, can I have those shoes back? You don't change this part, you change your part, okay? And then the notes should be basic notes like 14 pieces of clothing, 2 shoes, 1 belt, and a pair of earrings. Or if the consignor has some specific information about jewelry, let's say, and it's a necklace and they know it's turquoise and they bought it in 1980 and it's signed by blah, you could put that. Or if a consignor's like, I absolutely have to have that priced at this price, please write that in, because if we don't think we can price it at that price, we will return it. Okay? So you stop here. Here goes for processing and me and whoever is returning an item. Okay? This is where the processing people are going to put their information, so I know how many pieces were accepted. I put the next line. I write when I send them the email that says, hey, we're done. If this is attached to returns that were not consigned in the storeroom, whoever takes it out of the storeroom and hands it to them keeps that card and they put the date that they actually picked it up. The extra notes are for whoever's processing it. That could be, we found, I don't know, an extra piece, or this one was totally missing a belt, or this would be a great item, but we wanted to come back in the spring. Okay, the very last piece is for when we have it in the closet for a million years, we don't know what to do with it. So if we donate it, then we're going to put the date on here so we can keep track of it. This is a tracking form, and it should be tied up with the clothing that you take. Okay? But again, drop and go, so you don't spend a length any time. No official time. You're just going to pull these things in, quick, hang up, hand back hangers, whatever you need to do. Ask if anyone has a special request. Put those notes here. Do a general count of what you're taking. Some items might get returned, but that's not for you to decide right there and then, okay? And then these 4 questions, you work with the consignor to make sure all 4 are initialed and checked, okay? So this is going to be at the front desk. These notes will be up there too. I'm attaching that to an email to all of you. And if you have any questions, give me a shout. Email me back. Whatever you need to do. Thanks, guys. Bye.